Hey everyone, and welcome back to my playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS done in a completionist style. And that intro just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it? Anyway, in this episode, episode 2, the action is going to pick up, actually, because a lot of the introductory stuff that I had to explain, some mechanics and stuff, that's pretty much all done. And now we're just free to go on into this area and meet an interesting character.
Oh there, wanderer. Stay thy course a moment to indulge an old man.
So this old man just asks if we are desperate or deranged to be traveling in these perilous times. This is a BG1 NPC Project edition. This little... oh, I've been skipping a little bit too fast if you wanted to read that. To pause and read. If you use this dialogue option, he actually is going to hint at one of these hidden stashes with a ring of protection +1 hidden in it. Much like the diamond hidden on the last map, there's a couple of hidden stashes like that in Baldur's Gate 1, and he actually says that if you go north, you will find some protection if you keep your eyes open and your mind alert, something like that. And so basically hinting at that rock stash. I'm just going to pick this one, and apparently that is an adequate answer.
I can offer some guidance, but I will not interfere in your destiny.
Well, the guidance this character offers is usually just saying something that we already know. Just kill this gibberling.
I am become death.
I am here.
Destroyer of worlds.
Alright, Tsar.
Certainly.
So here's the hidden stash, and that's a ring of protection +1. And that is going to improve our armor class by making it lower by 1. And it's also going to improve our saving throws. And as you can see, it's unidentified, but we can still use it. And I will identify items when I get the chance. But for now, you know, if you know the items, you don't really need to identify anything that is like doesn't require you to use the item. Like you have to identify a wand, for example, to be able to use its spell. But standard equipable items, you really don't need to do. You don't need to identify them to be able to get their benefits, unless they have some kind of a usable spell that they cast and stuff. Here is Eldoth. He's a recruitable NPC. He was moved here by the component of the NPC project that I've installed, because normally he's available much later in the game in the Cloakwood Forest. We're not going to recruit him.
You're so dull. What's your worry?
What's your worry?
I am
He's an
here.
evil bard. So with this component of the NPC project, as you can see, you can get him pretty much immediately after you leave Candlekeep, and just have him for your entire adventure, if you'd so choose. I'm going east here because there's a particular ogre that I want to kill. He has a quest item.
I'm hardly worth my time.
Just attacked by a wolf. Can't really decide who to target. And Senashira got hit, so I'm just going to drink this potion because Senashira also is going to be in danger when fighting this ogre. I'm going to kite this ogre, and I think we need to give Montaron a ranged weapon and some arrows, because that ogre can deal some pretty nasty damage in melee. So that's why I'm going to kite him and attack from range.
My blade will cut you down to size.
And we'll see how that goes. I don't really want to engage him in melee. Oh, I'm just repeating myself. But anyway, he actually has a belt that we want. And he switched targets. And he's now chasing inland.
Yes, indeed.
We're not going to be doing things like that pretty much ever after this one, I think.
I certainly.
This is the only target that's really dangerous, kind of on level 1, to engage directly. This belt, this ogre has a belt fetish. Oh well, okay. This is going worse than I expected.
Yes, such mean.
It is done.
You know what I should do? I should just give this wand to, like, Czar. Use that. I don't want to use Czar's spells because they're going to be useful in a second. Come on, ogre. Die already.
What fun.
It is done.
Yep, I'm gone.
It is done.
What such menial tasks? Yes? Your life shall be mine.
I must.
Shouldn't have gone so much to the south to... oh, he's out of arrows, I guess.
I've done had enough of it.
You know what, Montaron?
I'm gone.
Go forth.
A death be in me if I no get help.
See, this is the thing. When you're level 1 and you're uninjured, you cannot die in one hit. That's why he
What need you, sucker?
has 1 HP left.
Down to size.
Yes, indeed. I am here.
Good on you if you
You
say
spoke
so.
to me. This I'll do your toil.
Just die already, Jesus.
Your
That was the
concern,
worst,
Certainly.
What such
I think,
menial tasks?
fight of I've had with this ogre ever, probably. Anyway, he has these 2 belts. One of them is a belt, a cursed belt, of switching your gender. Actually, you can make Czar a woman, for example, if you'd like.
What need
Should I waste a potion on you, Montaron? I'm going to need you, I think. Oh wow, 1 arrow left after this whole ordeal. That's not good.
Your
Yeah, I'm just going to unlock this area here, east of here.
It is done.
And now we're going to go north to talk with a ranger or some kind of hunter character. We're going to leave one place on this map unexplored. This here, there's a looted caravan there, and there's a group of bandits who are pretty dangerous at this stage of the game. And there's a quest for them that we're going to do a little later. But anyway, I can't really finish the thing with the ogre, I think. I've been stumbling over my words. These belts, this one is cursed. This is the girdle of like masculinity and femininity. This one is the one that's an object of a quest, but I'm not going to hand in this quest. I'm going to use this belt. This is the belt, I think it's called Elf's Bane, but it basically provides you a +3 armor class bonus against piercing and missile weapons. So that's pretty nice, and I'm going to use this for a long time before I hand in the quest, I guess. In the friendly arm in, there's one person, Anshi, that wants this belt returned.
Yes.
But
it
like I
is
said
done.
before, this is like one of the example of the quests where the thing she wants returned is an actual usable item, not some kind of a quest item that is useless. So, you know, we're going to hold on to that and just keep using it. Yeah, please try to keep your voices down. There be beasties about with better hearing than we. Normally MON doesn't say that. Generally when there are interjections like that, this is all the BG1 NPCs, NPC projects doing. So you seem quite at home here. What's the most dangerous thing you've seen? And this is basically another piece of advice for like a newer player, I guess. If you meet a tough enemy, don't be afraid to run. It's a viable strategy. So here we have Friendly Arm in to the north. We're going to open up that map, and then we're going to open up, I think go south and open up Baragos directly, especially since there are 2 characters to talk to.
It is done.
So we open up Friendly Arm in, do a proper formation, guys,
I am here. It is
and let's
done.
go. So yeah, in this episode I also am going to probably... It's going to be this and the next one episode. I'm not sure how it's going to work out time-wise, but I am going to recruit quite a few NPCs temporarily and just kind of go through quite a few of them in my party and just recruiting and then removing them later, and because you know, they're generally going to be needed for me to do one task, or maybe I'll get some items off of them. So we'll see how that goes. Then we have the road to Baragos.
Your
And here's a
concern.
messenger.
Hey,
And he basically tells us about the growing tensions between Amn and Baldur's Gate City.
Yes,
Some growing hostilities between these two nations. So yeah, we can open up Baragos directly from here, and there's a boy.
You funny looking.
Yeah, his mom is gonna come and give us the belt. Relax, kid. I don't want to hurt you. And he's just talking about bandits, raiding caravans,
yes,
and so
indeed.
on. And we can get a grand total of 7 gold from this crate.
It is done.
And now we can go to the friendly arm inn. So this is the enhanced edition version of this friendly arm intro cinematic. That's unfortunate that you're fatigued already.
Certainly. You're certainly.
Now I'm going to go east here and pick up another hidden stash, or the contents of that stash. There's a ring of wizardry hidden here in this rock. And it's pretty much always useful to get it, whether you're going to sell it for 9,000 gold or use it. And when it comes to full party playthroughs, you're pretty much always going to use it.
Yes?
Because it doubles the amount of level 1 spells that a wizard can have memorized when you equip that ring. So it essentially makes the low level mages not suck. And now I'm going to quick save here in a second, because we're approaching actually a pretty nasty fight early on, especially with SCS. There's going to be a mage assassin on the top of these stairs. And that's why we recruited Zarin Montaron to serve as some cannon fodder against him. Because he can be a pretty nasty fight at level 1 when you pretty much can't really have too much tools at your disposal, and you probably don't have, a full party.
I'm hardly worth my time.
Actually, I think I'm going to... By the way, also one thing I forgot to mention is that I made a huge mistake in Candlekeep, where I actually forgot to buy throwing daggers for her, for this ranged Kensai, where her whole purpose is to throw daggers and showcase that concept. And the unfortunate thing is, I think I was just like not paying attention. For some reason I thought that in Candlekeep you can't get throwing knives, but it is actually... Winthrop sells them. It's actually in the friendly arm inn where you can't buy throwing knives, so she's actually going to be stuck with this melee dagger for a little while yet. In Baragos we'll be able to buy some throwing knives. Actually in the friendly arm inn there are 5 throwing knives that you can get from a drawer.
Back home this way.
Certainly.
Now yeah, let's quick save and see how this goes.
Aye, friend.
Right, so here's Tarnesh. And this is a little spoiler, he's an assassin. And this is another SCS thing, that he initiates this conversation from a distance. Normally he would actually have to go close to you and then initiate it. And he seems like a friendly enough fellow, but he asks us what brings us to the friendly arm inn, and we're not going to reveal our intentions. But we also are not going to be suspicious or rude, so not much, dude. Just looking for a place to rest. And apparently we match the description of a friend he's supposed to meet here. Or not necessarily a friend, someone he's been looking for. So he doesn't seem like the Khalid and Jahira that we were supposed to meet here, so let's just say, Candlekeep? Never heard of it. Really? I would beg to differ. You fit the description, so I think it would be safe to assume you are the one I seek. Don't move. I have something for you. Yeah, he has some spells for us. I'm going to keep them
I am here. Indeed.
What if I'm
here and
Indeed.
wait for his spell. As you can see, this is the pre-buff component of SCS, where it says cast previously, and he has shield, which makes him immune to magic missile and increases his armor class a little bit, and mirror image, so he has these mirror images active. And so he enters the fight with these buffs active already, so he's actually able to immediately cast Sleep. And I'm going to go away with Senashira, because these spells home in on the target, and once this spell lands and like explodes because it has an AoE effect, I want her to be away from our other party members, so they don't get hit by that effect. Now Imoen is out of arrows. Do I have a short sword that she could use? Nope. He's going to be using... Oh yeah, this wand is useless because he has shield active. This guard is actually going to help us.
Yep.
So Imoen, I think you're just going to be pretty useless. Oh wow! Montaron died. I know, I knew I should have gave him a potion.
I care not this way.
Well, whatever.
Montaron, I never loved you.
I never loved you. Alright, so...
Yes.
Well, unfortunate casually, but generally this fight actually went pretty smoothly. I think that guard helped as well. As you can see, I don't have the attack rolls displayed because I found in like full party runs there's too much spam. They cluttered the chat box a little bit too much. In solo runs I usually use the rolls. But yeah, we got through his mirror images pretty handily. Unfortunately, we have to wait until Senashira wakes up from this sleep spell, and that usually these debilitating spells usually take a while for the effect to wear off. So I'm just going to like explore some of the area, I guess. There's nothing of interest here, but I like to have my maps explored. And what we can talk about here, I guess, while we're waiting, is that why we are waiting is that I want to loot this guy with Senashira because a conversation from the BG1 project, NPC project, is going to trigger then once we loot this guy. And you might be perhaps wondering or maybe a little annoyed by how many conversations Imoen has at the very beginning of the game, but it's just in the beginning. It's going to, like, the whole thing is going to calm down pretty soon. It's just at the very beginning of the game she has quite a few conversations, and then it just kind of normalizes. I guess we can loot Montaron, and Imoen can get his stuff. I'm gonna have a slightly better armor now, Imoen. And you can get a short sword as your melee weapon. Alright, so any second now. Should I res Montaron? Do I want him to survive? Actually, this gives me an opportunity to talk about splitting the pairs of NPCs. Montaron and Zar is one pair of NPCs. Khalid and Jahira, Minsk and Dinaher, and then Eldoth and Ski are the pairs of NPCs that, well, technically can't be separated, but there's a couple of solutions to that. First one of them, the most painless, I guess, is just, well, to give a concrete example, so this explanation is not too confusing. Let's say that we want to remove Montaron and keep Zar. So the first one would be to just, if Montaron was alive, to just like lock him up in a building that you're never going to visit again, and then remove him. So by doing that, he cannot trigger his leaving the group conversation, the result of which would be both of them leaving, Zar leaving together with Montaron. So if he cannot trigger this conversation, well, nothing happens, and you just get to keep Zar, and Montaron is going to just hang out in some location that you leave him at, some locked building or whatever. And the second trick to separate these pairs involves death, so maybe for the sake of explanation, it's kind of fortunate that Montaron died. You can either kill the character that you want to get rid of, like Montaron here, and if I remove him, well, he's going to be removed from the party, and obviously if he's dead, he cannot trigger that conversation that would prompt both of them to leave. So, but you know, the downside of that method is that it leaves him permanently dead in this playthrough, so if you reconsider later, you won't be able to re-recruit him. And just for role-playing reasons, you might not want to have someone permanently die, I guess. And the other technique for that is to kill the character you actually want to keep. So if Zar died and Montaron was alive, we could just remove Montaron. He would have the leaving the group conversation, but Zar being dead, he wouldn't be able to leave together with Montaron. So Montaron only gets removed, leaves, and then we resurrect Zar and we can keep him. Alright, so
Indeed.
that's it for now. Actually, before I loot these things and trigger the conversation with Imoen here, I also have a component from SCS installed that works a little bit differently. The first time you recruit a pair of NPCs, they both join, like Zar and Montaron did. And then when you remove them, they also both leave. But after that, once you talk with some some of those guys, you have another dialogue option to actually only recruit the single one of them. And it's actually, you know, a pretty cool written, pretty well written conversation option for each pair, and just makes sense what they say. Alright, so we looted that guy. And Imoen... Oh, that's actually not the conversation she's supposed to have. That's her, like, normal thing that we're traveling the road. And, you know, it's been an interesting adventure, I guess. Not really what we had in mind. And this is, like, a really well-written conversation, again, by the BG1 NPC Project, where she's just, you know, trying to think of a nickname for herself. And then when you're about to propose, like, how about Imoen the... And she, shush you, I'm thinking. I still kind of like Imoen the Quick. Wonder if it's taken already. But it's not the conversation, you're just... Okay, now, the proper one triggers. Wow, Tarnish's spellbook is pretty neat. I think I can learn some of this stuff. So this hints at Imoen being interested in the arcane, because canonically, I guess in Baldur's Gate 2, she is dual-classed to a mage. So the BG1 NPC Project takes this opportunity for Tarnish's spellbook and whatnot to just showcase that she was always interested in spells, and she is actually, you know, able to learn them later in the game. She becomes a mage canonically, and of course, like I said before, we will make her a mage even in this playthrough already. Manus potentis pa. That's like every school of magic has this Latin phrase composed of 3 Latin words that actually make sense. They are connected to what the school of magic is about, and she refers to manus potentis paro. But yeah, we can, like, you know, have obviously different ways of addressing this. So I don't want you to hurt yourself. Ah, don't worry about me. Those spells or whatever, the things in the back, they look kind of important. I won't mess with those. But yeah, the simple ones, just be careful, okay, dude? I'm no dummy. Well, she isn't. She has 17 intelligence. So basically, in time, she's going to be able to create a specific item, a usable item that you can place in her quick slot, and that's going to be a little item that can buff her dexterity by 1.
Yes, certainly.
So it's again, just to showcase that she's interested in spells, and you know, she's learning some simple stuff in Baldur's Gate 1. And here we will meet Joppy.
Hey, friend. Good to meet a fine sod such as yourself.
Now, if we select this question about his uncle, he's actually going to say that his uncle is Ragefast from Baldur's Gate. Ragefast is a mage that we're going to meet much later on. But this conversation option gives you, again, some information about the roads being, you know, occupied by brigands and bandits that are after every scrap of iron. And basically the thing about the uncle and him not being able to get to him is the fact that the bridge to Baldur's Gate is closed, so we are only going to be able to unlock the access to Baldur's Gate City later on in the game. And we can ask, why is the West Road still open? If there's ever a book shortage, the road to Candlekeep will be the most dangerous of them all, I assure you. But these folks are after metal. It's, you know, friendly arm. This here inn is smack dab in the middle of it all. Yep, and there's some inconsequential characters here like Nessie.
I hope our establishment's to your liking.
You can ask her about the Friendly Arm Inn, and the owners, Bentley and Galana. And it just gives you some history of Friendly Arm Inn. What's interesting is that this inn was actually the hold of a powerful undead priest of Baal, god of murder. It's interesting, something to keep in mind maybe. There's more to this place than I would have guessed. Yep. There's Whelp, also talking about the iron shortage. Apparently his tankard and fork is non-functional because they bend under the weight of this inn's meager offerings. And then we have... where's Surrey? Oh, here he is. Another little conversation. What brings you here, bro? And he mentions Terom from Beregost, a very skilled blacksmith. that apparently has trouble making ends meet because of this iron shortage. Alright, now here's Dorn. He's a new NPC added by the Enhanced Edition, and what's important here is that this conversation is going to go nowhere, but you have to actually trigger this conversation, you have to do this conversation with him in order to actually spawn an event a little bit later on in the game where he shows up, and then you can recruit him. But if you don't talk to him here, that event is not going to spawn. At least that's my experience.
It's about time. Bring me another flagon of ale.
I'm not your servant. Get your own ale.
Then why do you bother me? Be gone.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Now we can open this chest, and apparently no one's bothered by the fact that we're just looted this chest. And also, there's a healing potion that we can take from here. Did I take it? My bags are full. My other companions are too far away
Certainly.
for me to actually give them some stuff. And we'll just take the lightweight stuff, I guess. Take some scrolls. Actually, this is a good opportunity to relieve Zar of his things, because we're going to now remove Montaron and Zar. And I guess Montaron in this playthrough is going to remain dead, I guess. I didn't plan for it to work out that way, but whatever. Let's reform party, remove Zar, and
Tell me about the rabbits.
and this is the BG1 NPC Project edition. This is kind of like in Baldur's Gate 2, where you can tell them to either stay right there or to go to a characteristic place for them, where it's most characters are going to go back to Friendly Armin, but when it comes to Zar and Montaron, they're actually going to go to Nashkel. So just to demonstrate this option, I guess we can select this, and he's going to go to the Belching Dragon Tavern in Nashkel. Of course, he doesn't say that directly, and as you can see, Montaron, being dead as he is, actually is in our party. So if we chose to resurrect him, we could, you know, this is one of the ways to separate the pairs. But I'm just going to remove him. May you rot on the stairs. The stairs to Candlekeep, Montaron. Serves you right. Alright, so this healing potion is going to be useful, especially since I wasted so many of those on that ogre fight. That was a mess. Anyway, now we have Khalid and Jaheira present here, and let's talk to them.
Calm yourself, dear. We must proceed carefully.
Something about you is familiar, child. Your manner reminds me of a sage I know, by the name of Gorion. It is almost a slight on him, but I see it too. Jaheira! Mind your manners! This must be the child that Gorion wrote of so often. We are old friends of your adopted father. He is not with you? I must assume the worst. He would not permit his only child to wander without his accompaniment. Yeah, because we're only like 21 years old. We can't really go anywhere alone. If he has passed, we share your loss. Gorion often said that he worried for your safety, even at the expense of his own. He also wished that Khalid and I would become your guardians, if he should ever meet an untimely end. However, you are much older now, and the choice of your companions should be your own. We could travel with you until you get settled, help you find your lot in life. It would be a fitting last service to Gorion, though we should first go to Nashkel. Khalid and I look into local concerns, and there are rumors of strange things happening at the mines. No doubt you have heard of the iron shortage. You would do well to help us. It affects everyone, including you. We are to meet the mayor of the town, Baron Gaskill. And now this is the BG1 NPC Project edition again. Isn't it great? We made it through the full forest full of gibberlings and wolves, and now we are meeting real adventurers. Things are looking up. Hey, Auntie Jaheira. I am Imoen. She's like, adventurers generally do not call each other Auntie, Imoen. You should take this profession more seriously. Alright, your company would be welcome. Oh, by the way, Jaheira, it's not you who's going to decide whether anyone's company is welcome, or if anyone's welcome to come along. Jaheira's a little bossy, dude. Yeah, Uncle Khalid and Auntie Jaheira are coming with us. This is going to be a great adventure after all. Yeah, so now we have Jaheira and Khalid. Jaheira is a fighter druid multiclass. As you can see, she has her Baldur's Gate 2 stats. Like I said, I never do this, but for this playthrough I wanted her to have this 17 dexterity, because we're going to have another great target for a great user of the gauntlets of dexterity, and I just wanted her to be a little bit less of a dead weight that she is. And she's neutral good, because instead of neutral, you know, as a druid you have to be just neutral, but she is a special case, and it's kind of a thing with a lot of NPCs that they have something quote-unquote illegal, like outside of the rules about them. So let Jaheira be neutral good to better reflect her personality, I guess. So let's of course customize her script so that she doesn't go and do something without my explicit permission. And Khalid is actually a decent warrior. Unfortunately, the problem with a lot of fighters in this game, a lot of like frontliner characters, is that they pretty much all only have 15 strength. There are exceptions to that, but that's generally the case. And 15 is pretty much as high as you can go in strength without getting any bonuses. The bonuses start at 16, so that's a little unfortunate. But he has decent constitution, a little bit of a bonus to his armor class from dexterity, and he's just a pure fighter, which just is decent enough. He's generally a longsword user, but you can also use him as an archer. And Jaheira has clubs, quarterstaffs, and slings at her disposal, and she also has some spells memorized, 2 cure light wounds and 1 entangle, which is good enough for now, I guess. And yeah, we're going to have to. She also has this potion of invisibility, which is pretty useful. Let Imon hold on to that for now, I guess. Now let's just see who has the best lore. Imon has 10. We have 6 here. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So Imon, of course, not going to be able to identify that ring of wizardry, but lore 10 is probably not enough to do anything, but just to be sure. I think for the purposes of the Let's Play, you know, for clarity and everything, it's better to just have everything identified, and I will do that when an opportune time comes. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you this. This is a scroll that Tarnesh had, and it's a bounty notice. Let it be known to all those of evil intent that a bounty has been placed upon the head of Senashira, the foster child of Gorion, last seen in the area of Candlekeep, and we're supposed to be killed, and so far we're worth 200 coins. And this is not much of a spoiler, but Tarnesh, of course, is not the last assassin that's we're going to meet, and we're going to actually like keep seeing these scrolls, and the price on our head is going to keep increasing. So that's kind of a cool thing to track, to observe. Alright, there's a couple of things that we can do in the Friendly Armin. Mainly looting some stuff, but unfortunately with Imoen being level 1 and not really having any decent open locks, only at 25, she's pretty much unable to open anything in Candlekeep, so we're going to have to bash things open. And of course with her having the good exceptional strength, her bashing ability is better than Senashira's, so I'm going to use Kiranai generally to bash things open. And you can try a couple of times generally, because if you're, you know, you have the borderline skill or the bashing capability to bash something open, it sometimes can take a couple of tries, but here it's obvious that we are not able to. But this chest is the important one. We get some gold, a healing potion, and a gold ring. Let's give that to Senashira. And there's a couple of... we're not going to be talking to Anshi. She's the one that wants our belt of piercing, so I'm not going to give her that. Well, yet. I am going to complete that quest later. Here are the 5 thrown daggers for Kiranai. And a spare warhammer. There's nothing in those containers, I think. And now these chests and containers, I'm going to try to bash them open, but I think most of them are going to be too tough. There's no point in trying with Imoen, because I know she can't open anything here with her 25 open locks. Okay, this was possible. And now we can go upstairs. There's a noble that you can talk to, and you can of course, if you remember what we did in Candlekeep's Inn, we can of course punch the nobles to knock them out, and then loot their stuff, and they usually have some gems or some gold, but I'm not going to do that. We're supposed to be heroes. We're supposed to be the good guys. So here, this is the pantaloon guy.
No time to chit-chat.
About time you showed. Here, I need these tunics cleaned and pressed by this Eve, and be extra careful with the golden pantaloons. It took 15 women and a small boy from Kalimshan 12 days and 4 nights to weave them, so careful on the seams. Well, get going. And if you say, "Sir, yes sir, pantaloons pressed and ready by tonight, or breakfast is free, sir." Done and done, be on your way. Wait a moment. Don't you dare go anywhere. This is if you have high charisma. He's gonna be like, "Here's an extra couple of coins." What a plea that would make Daddy proud, if you know what I mean. Now get. So we get 2 gold if we have high charisma. Thanks, dude. And you can give the pantaloons back to him for some meager amount of experience, or of course hold on to them for the entire saga, so that in Throne of Baal we can get the conclusion after we get all 3 pairs, like I said in the introductory video that I'm sure no one watched because it was 3 hours long. Anyway, here's Landrin. He's going to give us a quest to rid her house in Baragost of a spider infestation, and to bring some of the items she's interested in, like a bottle of wine, for example, so she can get plastered, I guess. Anyway, the very interesting thing and great thing is that if you have high charisma, she's going to give us 6 antidotes for free, and those are so useful in Baldur's Gate 1, especially this early on. They would actually cost us, you know, a couple hundred of gold to buy those, and they are actually really, really useful, because there's quite a few things that can poison us in the game, and of course the spiders in her home. I'm just going to quickly double check if there's anything interesting here.
Fine.
There's some, yeah, minor treasures. I think there's an amulet here in that room, but just let me be extra sure here. Just take a second to loot all these things. I think there was something in those. An axe I'm not gonna take with me. I think here is a club. Yeah, a club for Jaheira. Not that a club would cost us a lot to buy, but whatever, if we can just take one, and I am going to do that. Well, we can't force that open. I think there's an amulet in a drawer here. Oh no, just gold. I once again remembered wrong. Alright, anyway, wow, we are already almost 40 minutes in, and we're just done with not so much stuff in this episode. We really didn't get much done.
Indeed.
Alright, let's talk to Bentley.
It's been dreadful slow business lately.
Dreadful slow business. Alright, and you can of course buy some equipment from him here. And I'm going to buy a sling. And we need some ammo badly. Imoen is going to get like some arrows. Jaheira is going to receive some sling bullets. Why can't I buy more of them? Alright, we can buy some better armor, but we're actually going to get some better armor for free very soon. And as you can see, he has no thrown daggers, which is a real shame for our ranged Kensai. I think this is all we need right now. Here, take that. Equip some bullets, and equip that club. Now what else do we have? We have some throwing knives for you. You have a better armor. You have some arrows that you can equip. Oh yeah, we can actually sell a lot of stuff to Bentley now. He actually accepts scrolls. So although some of these spells can be quite useful, I'm just going to hold on to the protection from petrification. We're not going to have a mage for a while, so I would rather just get the money while I can for these spells. And they're like nothing too amazing. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of all those. The diamond that we looted off of that tree on the first map outside of Candlekeep, worth 500 gold. Pretty nice. And that's it. You can... we will not need this short bow, I think. Some other jewelry that we can sell. Here we can sell these morning stars and the bounty scroll. And I would have to identify these belts, and I'm not going to use the money to identify stuff just yet. I really prefer to just have a mage identify stuff for me for free. And just double, triple check as usual, so I am not forgetting things. Let's buy a shield for Jaheira. Alright, so she has 4 armor class, Khalid has 1. He has a better armor, but oh yeah, she only has leather armor now. Let's just give her that temporarily. We're going to get a plate armor very soon. Oh yeah, so now let's just rest. Let's take a merchant room and rest for 8 hours. I think I have the rest until healed turned off, right? Yeah.
Yes?
Alright, now we can leave and actually do some adventuring. I'm also going to show something here. This temple. This is Garl Glittergold's temple. I should have bought a helmet for Jaheira. See, I always forget something.
Indeed. You are welcome here in Garl Glitter.
And just to show you, she can identify stuff, but it's 100 gold each. So it's this quickly adds up, you know? Like if you want to just identify 10 basic items, that's 1,000 gold already. Anyway, she has access to some pretty cool potions. As you can see, an antidote right now is sold at 127 gold, and we have 6 of those for free. We can actually get a stone to flesh scroll from here or from the Lathander temple later on, but just when I remember about it, let's just get one. And these potions of extra healing, those are normally Baldur's Gate 2 potions, but SCS introduces a couple of them here and there, because opponents also have access to these. So you can get 3 from her, and you know, you can buy some and you can loot some, but generally you won't get like too many of them in Baldur's Gate 1. Here are the potions of genius, you know, buffing your intelligence +4 if you want to do a scribing session. Potion of mind focusing buffs up intelligence and dexterity, so you can use that for an armor class boost or for a thieving skill boost or for many different things.
Certainly.
Anyway, let's pick up a quest here. Oh, actually, let's first loot something from this building if we can. There's a guy inside, but sometimes if he goes into another room, we can get some meager gold, I guess. There's this house. Yeah, he's standing right there.
Certainly.
So I guess no looting, and I seem to remember he actually wasn't willing to call the guards. Well, let's just test this out. Yeah, he doesn't care. We can take some jewelry.
Certainly.
That's unusual. Normally people will react to that and call the guards. Oh, I also don't like how the enhanced edition changed the colors of different NPCs. I think Khalid had like an orange thing with brown. And Jaheira I will have green colors because she's a druid, and I also have my druids in green. Somehow it makes sense to me. Alright, here is Joya, and she has a quest for us. And there's actually another cool opportunity from the Baldur's Gate 1 NPC Project, a little cool conversation interjection from Imoen.
Yes?
Could I trouble you a moment? And we can either be like really rude, tell me what do you need, but make it quick, or be like, certainly, milady. Fedora tip. Speak your mind. Such manners. Well, I need a gruff hand for this task, so keep your please and thank you garbage for the nobles. I was robbed blind by some hobgoblins within sight of this very inn's walls, and I need you to return the favor. They took my ring, and that's all I want back. Will you do it? And pushes you in the ribs. Our finesse is unappreciated here, my good lady. Alright, I will help you. I thank you. Bring my ring back. It's a flame dance ring and very striking. Alright. So this is a quest in this area that we can do, and we're going to do immediately. Now when it comes to opening up areas, we can open up an area to the east of here, and we're actually going to go there for a second. Going to the western border doesn't do anything, because to the west of here is Cloakwood, and we cannot open Cloakwood yet. So let's have Khalid in the front. But we can also open the map north of here. And the hobgoblins she mentioned are in the northern area. Let's have Khalid and Jahir in the front.
Yes, indeed.
Especially Khalid, since he has the best armor class. Just
My heart's really not in.
I am here.
let's
It is done.
skill them.
Ryan would be proud of
They're
your action.
very basic enemies.
It is done.
These here, actually you can sell these. Oh, here's a helmet for Jahira.
Perhaps would make not quite as much help as I thought.
Alright, Jahira, don't talk so much. Just take this helmet. These bastard swords we can sell for a little bit of money. Actually, Imon, take this scroll.
I am here.
The scroll I bought because it's going to be useful later. Actually, the NPC project, through a conversation when Jahira is present, actually can get another scroll of that for free. And basically I'm buying it here for 190 gold. Normally, there's another occasion where you actually need it, and the guy wants to only sell it for 500 gold.
Yes?
You'll see all that a little bit later. And let's keep
It
our
is done.
Kansai a little bit further back. Well, we're still safe from being one hit killed because we are still level 1 on everyone, but you know. Okay, here's the flame dance ring she was after.
Yes?
Some of these hobgoblins have like 34 gold. Those are pretty rich hobgoblins. Alright, so here we can open up the Ankeg farm area north of here with Ajantis. We're not going to take Ajantis in this playthrough, I think. We're not going to visit that northern area for a while. And the combat music has a tendency sometimes to bug out and keep going even if you're not in combat.
Shall be mine. Yet such menial tasks.
Oh, sick micro, dude.
I am. It is working, certainly.
That's my RTS background showing up, dude. Incredible moves.
Yes?
Alright, let's open up this eastern area. That opens up Peldvale. And here is another Control J. Like normally we'd have to go all the way around here or near the edge of the map and here through the entrance to Joya's building. And but I'm just going to teleport everyone.